Hey everyone, welcome. I am so glad you're here with us today. Look, we are starting from absolute zero to learn about the incredible digital architecture that powers, well, basically our entire modern world. Think of this note as a really patient step-by-step classroom session. Seriously, you don't need any prior technical knowledge at all, just bring your curiosity. Together, we're going to totally decode the mystery of how websites and web apps actually work. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with what web programming actually is, explore a really handy restaurant analogy, and then build the front end and power the back end. After that, we'll see exactly how the internet connects it all, and finally, what this means for your own future opportunities. Okay, let's dive right in. Part 1. What is web programming? Let's define the core concept. All right, I want you to picture a super familiar action. Imagine you grab your phone and tap the YouTube app. Instantly, bam, a grid of videos appears. The thumbnails load up, the comments are right there, and your recommendations have magically updated themselves. Think about it. Millions of people are interacting with that exact same platform at the exact same time. How does all of that literally happen in a matter of seconds? Well, that magic is web programming. Simply put, it's the process of creating functional websites and web applications using code. It is the behind-the-scenes engineering that handles all those user interfaces you're tapping on, the massive amounts of data being processed, and the servers delivering information right through the internet. Really, it's the engine driving our entire modern digital economy. Now, it's super important to understand the clear distinction between web design and web development. Web design? That's all about the aesthetic appeal. It's the visual layout, the user experience, and it usually doesn't involve writing code. Web development, or web programming, on the other hand, is what adds the actual working functionality to the site through code. They absolutely have to work in unison to create a cohesive website, but they really are distinctly different skill sets. Part 2, the restaurant analogy. Let's build a simple mental model. A totally brilliant way to understand how a website functions is to imagine it exactly like a restaurant. The front end is the dining area. It's everything you, the customer, see and interact with, like the tables, the nice decorations, the physical menu. Then you have the back end, which is the kitchen. This is the hidden area where the actual heavy lifting and processing happens, completely away from the customer's view. The database is basically the storage room where all your raw ingredients and, say, customer records are safely kept. And the server, well, that's the actual physical building infrastructure that houses everything and just keeps the whole restaurant running. Part 3. Building the front end, creating that user view. So our very first step is HTML. Think of HTML as the raw, basic skeleton of a web page. It uses these special bracketed codes called tags to tell your web browser exactly where to put a paragraph or an image or a button. Just like a skeleton supports the human body, HTML gives the website its fundamental shape. Honestly, without it, the whole thing just collapses. Next up, we have CSS. If HTML is our bare skeleton, CSS is literally like putting clothes on it. It stands for cascading style sheets, and it dictates the layout, the colors, the fonts, basically making that raw, basic structure presentable and aesthetically pleasing to look at. Finally, we add JavaScript to the mix. JavaScript acts as the nervous system. It adds all the interactivity and dynamic features, really bringing the website to life. You know when you click a like button and it turns blue without reloading the whole page? Or when a pop-up smoothly appears? That is JavaScript sending signals and making that static web page instantly react to your actions. Part 4. Powering the backend, the hidden server logic. The absolute crucial point here is understanding the boundary between these two worlds. The front end is directly visible to users, right? It focuses entirely on the visual experience using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But the back end is completely hidden from view. It uses languages like Python, Java, PHP, or Node.js to handle the server logic, the authentication, and the really complex processing. So the front end displays the data while the back end securely stores and processes it. And this brings us right to the client-server model. Think of the client as your personal device. So your smartphone or your laptop are running a web browser. The client kicks off the communication by requesting some content. The server, on the other hand, is a powerful remote computer sitting somewhere else in the world, just waiting for those incoming requests. When you search for something, your client asks the server for the answer. The server processes that request, finds the answer, and sends the data right back to your screen. Now, inside that back-end kitchen we talked about, we have databases. A database is literally a massive digital storage room. Whether it's huge platforms like Facebook storing your login credentials and timelines, or Amazon keeping track of millions of products in its inventory, databases hold it all. They're usually powered by specialized database languages like SQL to safely search and organize all that data, or highly scalable NoSQL systems. And they interface directly and securely with the web server to fetch exactly what your client asked for.
Part 5. How the Internet works, connecting us globally.
So let's look at the step-by-step journey here. First, you type a URL, which is basically a specific location address, into your browser. Think of your web browser as a car trying to drive to that address. Second, your computer does a DNS lookup. It essentially checks a massive global digital phone book to convert that human-readable URL into the server's actual numerical IP address. Third, your browser sends a request directly to that server. And finally, the server sends back packets of code, which your browser easily renders into the beautiful web page you're looking at. But hey, before any of that code is actually written, there's a crucial planning phase, using wireframes. A wireframe is a simple sketch, a basic visual guide to the layout of a website. Just like an architect absolutely has to draw a blueprint before building a house, web developers map out exactly where the text, the images, and the links are going to go. This ensures a logical, solid structure before they ever write a single line of HTML.
Part 6. Opportunities and next steps. Where do we go from here?
Trillions of dollars flow through these programmed platforms every single year. Trillions. By understanding web programming, you really unlock massive income opportunities in the digital economy. We're talking about finding great online freelancing gigs, building your very own software as a service or SaaS business, or landing a highly paid role as a front-end, back-end, or full-stack developer. The digital skills you build in this space translate directly into real-world financial opportunities. But let me give you a quick word of caution. Please avoid the hype of those get-rich-quick coding claims. Real skill building requires consistency and time. There are no magic shortcuts. Furthermore, web security is an absolutely critical part of programming. A super common threat is a SQL injection, where hackers try to manipulate a database through insecure web forms. Fortunately, modern developers learn to easily prevent this using secure protocols like HTTPS to protect passwords, banking data, and ultimately user trust. So, how do you actually start? Well, keep it simple. You already have a web browser like Chrome or Firefox, right? Next, you just need to download a free code editor. From there, begin with the absolute basics: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. A quick online search for a 30-day coding roadmap is a really perfect place to start. And hey, today, we even have incredible AI tools that can help assist developers in writing code and automating routine tasks, making learning and building so much faster than ever before. All right, you now know the fundamental difference between the front-end dining room and the back-end kitchen. You know exactly how data travels the global highway right to your screen. The foundation has totally been laid in this note. The only question left is, what website are you going to build first? Take this new understanding, open up a code editor, and start your own exciting web programming journey today.